Hey guys, I hope you can hear me. So, as you could probably see, we have a slight delay because there are some sound issues in the game or on the stage. So, in the meantime, we are going to do, I'm going to tell you a bit about the Euro Cup, and we are going to talk about the players and the teams, and maybe about what we're doing here at Gamescom. And for those who don't know me, I am Falan, community manager for Wargaming EU, and you've probably already seen me on some of the other streams. I just hopped over from the World of Tanks one, and we are waiting for the Euro Cup to begin. So let's talk about the Euro Cup a little bit. So we have 4 teams in the Euro Cup currently, but the way they got there, they got the Euro Cup, is every nation had their own teams, had their own qualifiers. So let's say Germany, actually Germany is not the best option because Germany basically got a spot since they are hosting the tournament, right? So let's go with Finland because those guys are in. So Finland had the national qualifiers. Finnish teams were competing against each other, and then the winning Finnish team went into the European qualifiers. And in the European qualifiers, there were 3 winners. Those were Finland, Bulgaria, and Belgium. And the 4th, Germany, as I said, was added because Germany is hosting Gamescom and they are hosting the Euro Cup as well, obviously. So this is how these guys got here. So basically, they are the best Europe has to offer, and they are going to play the semi-finals today. That means that they are playing 3v3s against each other. The first match is going to be Bulgaria against Belgium, and then Germany against Finland. And then the winning teams of those 2 matches are going to compete against each other tomorrow. I think I have my spectator thing turned on. Just give me a sec, guys. Someone is waving at me. Let me see if I can find out something. Alright, I'm back. Sorry, guys. So, where were we? We were talking about the finals, right? Yep. Okay, so tomorrow... Okay, once again, sorry, guys. Okay, so once again, sorry guys, because we are still setting stuff up. This should be much smoother today, tomorrow actually, because we are testing this whole setup today for the semifinals, and then for the finals, everything should be already working. So tomorrow, the finals are going to be 5v5. They are going to be only between two teams, obviously, and that's gonna be decided today. Basically, that's what we are doing today. What else can I tell you? We are going to play on one map on Ghost Town for the semifinals, and if there is a tiebreaker, so the way it works, we have a 3v3, right? So the winning team has to have 2 won games. So if they are tied, the 3rd map is going to be Himmelsdorf. Okay, so if we have a 1-1, basically, the next map is going to be Himmelsdorf. What else is interesting? Tomorrow, in the finals, the way it's going to work, because it's a 5v5, we are going to have 2 maps. First, it's going to be Cliff, and the second one is going to be Mines. And if it goes on to the 5th round, the 5th match is going to be played on Himmelsdorf. Let me tell you a little bit about the teams. Maybe that should be interesting as well. So, as I said, Germany is the 4th team. It's gonna be World 147 is the captain. Mackie07 is one of the players, and Fleischi is the 3rd one. Finland consists of Vertical Birds, who is the captain, and then I'm probably going to butcher these names. So Juho, something like this, is going to be one of the players, and the other one is Count. And then Bulgaria is going to be led by Kosio, and the players are Velislav 1999 and Silver Joe. And then Belgium is led by Dakilzor, who happens to be one of our contributors as well. And Moten, 4 LTU, and Slaughter 8 are the players. So these are the teams. And we are still waiting for our players to be set up. And in the meantime, maybe I can talk a little bit about what we are doing here at Gamescom and what kind of social media we have. So in the first stream that I had today with Paul and Danilo, I didn't have the chance to talk about our social media stuff too much because it was so fast. I think that you guys probably enjoyed that really a lot, right? Because there was so much content in the stream, but I didn't really have the chance to get you all the details about what else we are doing here at Gamescom. So let's take this opportunity. So first of all, we have a contest, which is the hashtag Wargaming GC hashtag that you can use to enter into a contest where you can win a lot of cool prizes, including one of the gaming chairs, which is something like this. Okay. So if you share something with the Wargaming GC hashtag, it enters into the competition, and then you have the chance to win one of these cool prizes. If I remember correctly, that one of the things that you can win are those bonus codes that were signed by Sabaton. So these codes have, these are metal codes actually. So the cards are already really nice. They have the Sabaton tank, Supremo Victoria. They have 30 days of premium, 5,000 gold, and they were all individually signed by the members of Sabaton. So basically you can have a set if you manage to get your hands on all 5 cards, which is not going to be easy, I suppose. So all of these things you can win if you share some content with the Wargaming GC hashtag. There are some Facebook frames that you can also use if you want to show that you are interested in what Wargaming does at GC 2017. And if you are watching some of our streams, I think we are not doing it for this one, just so you know, but some of the Q&As with the devs, they are always, or not always, but most of the time we have bonus codes. And the way it works, if you look at the stream, there is a letter coming up in the left corner, the lower left corner usually. And you have to combine the letters, you have to actually watch the whole stream, and it gives you a code that you can enter if you go to the website, our portal, which is Wargaming EU. You log in, there is the drop-down menu in the upper right corner. It drops down and there is a redeem invite code. So you redeem the invite code and you are going to get a lot of cool in-game stuff in the game. What else do I need to tell you? Go to our Instagram if you are interested in what Sabaton did yesterday, because they took over on Instagram and they posted some really cool stuff. And if you're interested in the previous streams, you can go to the video section of our Facebook portal, our Facebook page. You can go to our YouTube, which is Wargaming EU, and you can also go to our Twitch channel, which is WG EU. So you can find all the previous streams for World of Tanks, World of Warships, Total War Arena, all of these really cool things, including the Sabaton interview from yesterday, if you go to these pages. So it seems that we are actually in. I was talking so much that I didn't even notice that we are in the game. So let's see. So the map, as I told you, is Ghost Town, and we have the 2 teams, Bulgaria on the left and Belgium on the right. They are using an AMX 5100 and 2 defenders, so mobility and really strong defense on the left-hand side. And it's just a tiny bit different on the other one. So the Belgian guys are using another 5100, obviously, for the autoloader. And there's a defender for the mobility and the armor, but there's also a German heavy. I'm going to switch, if I can, let's see, so that we can actually see the tanks. No, that's unfortunately not possible. So the MX-50 100 is pushing into town, I guess from both sides. No, actually the Belgian guys are going around. Bulgaria is pushing in. The heavies, or actually those are both all heavies, but the MX-50 100 is more like a medium when it comes to mobility. It's pushing in there. One of the defenders is already in the middle of the map. Let's switch to it and see what they're doing. They're taking different avenues. So the AMX 5100 is actually taking his time to reload its clip, and it's going to be in an ambush position. These guys are going to probably try to spot if the enemy pushes into town, and then the MX is going to try and clip the tank that comes in. because they are the defenders. They kind of have the advantage, right? Because the enemy has to capture those 2 points on the map, either of those. So these guys are basically banking on the fact that the Belgian guys are going for this point, the second point. However, what they don't know is that the Belgian guys are looking at the first points in the northern half of the map. Let's see how that works out for them. So the problem is for the Bulgarian guys is that if Belgium is not going for the second point, they have to completely reposition, right? Because if the trap is sprung, people are pushing into town, this is a perfect position to be in. However, they are really out of position for the first point, which is exactly where the enemy is going. Let's see if we can switch to the other side. The MX-5100 is behind, and the 2 heavies, the real heavies, are already on the point. They started capturing, so that means that the Bulgarian guys are now in a position where they have to react to this. They have to do something. They obviously have a lot of time still. There is almost 2 minutes left on the capture. They are coming. One of the heavies is coming from the middle. Oops! Someone is already trying to fix my feed from the stage so that I can actually show you guys what's going on the stage. So I'm going to try to scoot over a little bit. Let's see what's going on. Okay, they're still capturing the base. There is 37 seconds left because now there are 2 people in the base. So the Belgian guys or the Bulgarian guys have to react really fast. They're coming. Let's see what they planned for this. It seems that they are trying to kind of spread out because they know that the MX-5100 from the enemy team is probably not on the point. It's probably in the hills. So the 2 heavies are engaging the heavies, and the AMX, the autoloaders, are going for each other. These guys really know these maps. They know where the enemy is going to be. So let's see which EMX wins the battle. I guess the battle already started for the points. They're exchanging shots, and the Bulgarian team is paying heavily for the fact that they had to go over the... Oh, there's 5 HP left. That means that there's another shot coming in, but still, that was a huge advantage for Belgium. That means that they have an additional tank that they can use. However, they already used a lot of that clip, right? There's not many shots left in the AMX-5100. Maybe 2, I would say. 1, probably. So if he can just contribute a little bit, or if he manages to reload by the time the enemy starts going into the point, which is happening right now. Each of these teams are down by the tank. The problem is that the MX-5100 is probably reloading right now. So the defender has to hold out. It has to wait until it's ran. The MX-5100 reloads. He can still take 2 shots from the enemy defenders. He's going for the kill shot probably, and he does, but then he loses his life. Now this is actually really tricky because the 5100 cannot really take too many shots. 2 actually from the defender. He's landing his shots. That's 1 that bounced. That means that he probably won't be able to kill the defender in this reload time. So now he has to run away. He has to run away and wait for his clip to reload. This is very close, and this is a really tricky situation to be in, because especially for the defender, because if he cannot catch the MX-5100 before it reloads, then he can shoot once and the AMX can just clip him, right? So he has to land this shot, and he does, and now he has to run away or try to engage the 5100 as fast as he can. He couldn't. He couldn't land the second shot. So if the 5100 can run away and get into a really good position, he can still do this. However, he's behind, since the defender can take 1 shot, and he didn't get away. Very nice. Awesome. Bulgaria wins this round, and they manage to hold the map against Belgium. That was a really close match, actually. So Bulgaria won up. And let's see the results. So Silver Joe in the defender did more than 2,000 damage, and Velislav did 1,627. The problem for Kosio in this case was that he had to go over the ridge, right? He kind of had to expose himself for 2 shots, which gave him a huge disadvantage against the enemy 5100. These tanks are basically the same, right? So if someone gets the first 2 shots off, there's such a huge difference between the HP pools of these 2 tanks that was basically impossible for the Killzer to overcome. Alright, but this was still very, very close. So the Belgian guys are definitely not out of this yet. Let's see if they can make it count for the second round. Someone in the chat is asking where they can get their hands on this chair, which is a really cool chair, and I would like to have it myself. So the way to get it is, one, you can sign up for not sign up, but actually just participate in the contest that we are having, right? I already talked about it. Just share something from Gamescom, something from Wargaming with the hashtag WargamingGC, and you are entering into the contest, and you might have the chance to win this chair. Or you can just buy it if you go to the eShop. And it's a really cool chair. It's also really comfortable and really, you know, like if some of my people from the eShop are listening, maybe I want to have one. Okay, we are in the second match, so the setup is the same. No, actually not. They changed it a little bit, so they exchanged the German heavy to another defender. So this is basically a mirror matchup. However, the roles are reversed, right? Bulgaria now has to attack, whereas previously they were the ones defending. So now Belgium kind of has this advantage going for them to equal out the Bulgarian advantage. That now they have to defend the points, whereas Belgium. Oh, nice! So I got the info that the stage fit should be okay. We are going to try it out once the match ends. So let's see. We are looking at Bulgaria, who are. Oh wait, let's see. If that's actually true. It's probably not true because it should be like this. Okay, so Bulgaria are the ones who are attacking the points, right? So there are 2 points they can attack, and it seems that they're going for the same or very similar strategy as the other guys in the previous match. They want to go for the first point. However, the other people in the town are a bit differently set up than previously. So Belgium is in the middle. They are prepared for basically anything. They want to be prepared for either going for point 2 or point 1. I guess the one in the back, let's check the 5100. Yes, exactly. So the 5100 is supposed to poised to attack whatever the other heavies can detect. It's lurking in the background. The Bulgarian guys are in the cap, so this is a very similar situation. Let's look at the other defender. Let's see what these guys are doing. So they are trying to poke a little bit. Remember, all they have to do, so what the Belgian guys need to do is just defend the point. And oh, it's coming. So Motan is waiting for Verislav to come out of the corner. He's side scraping, and that shot didn't connect. And now he's exposing only his side. There is one shot coming in from the MX100 from the other side. So these guys are exchanging a bit of damage. Verislav is down to basically half HP. That means that Belgium is kind of already in the advantage, right? Because they're defending, they're waiting for the Bulgarian guys to push in, but Bulgaria has already lost a lot of health for this push. On the other hand, they are already capping point 1, so at some point, Bulgaria needs to do something about that. Remember that these matches are relatively short, right? So you don't have that much time. The matches are 7 minutes, actually. So there are only 4 minutes, 30 seconds left. If Belgium manages to just reset the cap a little bit, they can even use AG for that. So if they can just shoot Silver Joe a little bit and then don't let these guys push, basically, then that's already enough. But they decide to push, and they're punished heavily for it. Slaughter received a lot of damage from both sides. He's going for Verislav. They try to focus him down with 2 tanks, but he's falling back. He is very, very careful about it. Moten goes out a bit. The MX100 comes from behind, and they focus him down. That means that they have the advantage, and it seems that Bulgaria didn't manage to react to that. So not only are they defending, they are already 1 tank up on the enemy. And Moten is reverse side scraping. He's showing the side of this tank at a steep angle so that the shot, if it comes, can bounce on his side. It seems that Silver Joe wants to have Slaughter's remaining health, which he can actually do because he has 392, so it's relatively likely that it can shave off with 1 single shot. Moten comes out, they want to focus on Silver Joe. He takes 1 shot for it, but oh, the next one bounces. So Silver Joe managed to use the side of his tank to bounce that shot, and they're basically protecting each other. Look at how Slaughter is behind Moten. He only comes out to shoot because he is basically a 1-shot. Motor is being punished a bit, but that doesn't really matter at this point. The MX-50 100 could come in from the other side because they are up against only one other tank, another autoloader. And let's switch to Takilzor actually to see how he's ambushing his counterpart on the enemy team, who is running away because he's probably reloading, which is exactly what Takilzor does as well. So all he can do is spot Kosio and follow him around and hope that his friends can shoot him. But this match is basically over at this point, I think. This is basically just mopping up for the Belgian guys, which means that this is a 1-1. We are going into a tiebreaker. It seems that Kosio actually managed to kind of get away. Let's see if the defenders manage to chase him down in the end. I'm pretty sure they will. But it seems that Motten doesn't want to get killed. And the 5100 is down. That means it's 1-1. Belgium 1, Bulgaria 1. We are going into a tiebreaker, which is going to be Himmelsdorf. So probably one of the most iconic maps is coming up. Okay, let's look at the team screen just really quickly. So it seems that from Bulgaria's side it was relatively even. Velislav didn't manage to get a lot of damage done, and it seems that the Belgian team was also really active. Every member managed to get over 1,000 damage, and Dakis actually managed to get almost 2k. So before we do anything else, let's look at that feat. Let's see if we can show you the stage, and unfortunately it's not working. Let's see if I can do it like this. No, it doesn't work. Okay, never mind. We can just go back to our gameplay feed and you guys can see which sides they are picking. So the way it works is the team with the faster attack, so the guys who won one of the matches, one of the earlier matches faster than the other team, can decide which side they want to start on. So whether they want to defend or attack. So let's see. So it seems that the Belgian guys want to defend. Yes, exactly. Okay. So Belgium is going to defend and the Bulgaria is going to attack. So I would say the Belgian guys, even though initially they were kind of behind since they lost the first match, it seems that they are kind of in the driver's seat now, right? Because they managed to win one, they are kind of already on the roll and they are also defending, so it's a bit easier for them to get this point. Let's see if they manage to make it count. Let's see. Just one more time, guys. Sorry about that, but I really want to show you the stage. Let's see if it works. No, it does not. Okay. There we go. Okay, the Belgian team says that they are ready. They're waiting for the Bulgarian guys. They're probably discussing some strategy. Let's see what kind of setup they're using. They're using the same one, so 2 defenders, 1 AMX-50 100. And to be honest, this makes a lot of sense, right? Because mobility is very important. Defender is pretty mobile. The MX-50 100 is obviously very mobile. It's basically like almost like a medium tank. And it has the autoloader, so this tank can be used for a huge amount of burst damage, but then it doesn't have any armor, right? So it has to run away. The way they do it most of the time is the defenders are going in, they're soaking up the damage, they're also dealing out some damage, and then the AMX, if they manage to focus something down, then the AMX can go in, unload its whole clip, and then just run away. This is what should be the tactic for this kind of setup, right? Whether you can actually execute it, now that's the question. Because if you get caught with the 5100 without a clip, and you're basically dead meat at that point. Okay, we are going into the third match. This is the tiebreaker on Himmelsdorf. Let's see how it goes. Okay, so we are spectating Bulgaria. So Kosio, Silver Joe, and Velislav are the guys who are attacking the Belgian team. Dakilzor, Motten, and Slaughter. They're using the same setup, and this is not going to be easy. Himmelsdorf it can be a tough nut to crack in my experience. So they have to be more proactive than the other team, right? If they want to make this count, if they want to get into the finals, they need to do something. Whereas the Belgian guys, they can react. It's enough if they react. It's the fact that there are 2 points on the map means that you can't just camp 1 point, right? Because you have to decide which one to go for the first time. These guys seem to think that the Bulgarians are coming in for the points in the northern half of the map, the second point. However, if they go for the first point, then they are the ones who have to react. So you kind of have to get this right. But these guys have a lot of experience. They know what they're doing. They know what the enemy is thinking. They're kind of getting in their heads. So they're spreading out. The 5100 is going to probably watch the first point. The defenders are watching the second point. They think that they can react fast enough wherever the enemy comes. For now, it seems that Bulgaria. Let's look at the Bulgarian team a bit. Let's see what Kostia is doing. He's driving down. He's probably reloaded. He's in the back. They are using the defenders to scout ahead a little bit and feel out where the enemy is. And then the AMX 5100 has to go in and try to get something going. The best thing to do, I mean, imagine this situation. You guys have these 3 tanks. What are the most important parts of these tanks? Basically, are the guns, right? Because as long as you have 1 HP in the game, you can deal damage. So if this 5100 manages to get 1 HP, basically reduced to 1 HP, he's still just as relevant as before, right? As long as he can fire. So getting a gun out of the game is the most important part. That's why these guys always try to focus down 1 tank. They're not spreading the damage around. They're trying to focus with that 1 tank. If they can, they would probably go for the other 5100 because, you know, this is the highest possible damage dealer in the team, and it's also the easiest target to pen. So this is the priority right now. They want to go in, focus 1 tank down, get that tank out of the picture, and then 3 guns can deal with 2 guns. That's the idea. So the defenders are in a position, they want to probably attack point 2, and in my experience when I was back in Hungary, it was a bit long time ago to be honest, but I was casting ESL tournaments, and on this map they always try to, not always, but most of the time they wanted to go for point 2, because point 1 is kind of out of the open. It's always a gamble to go for that, right? But point 2, if you can get the angle right, if you can manage to get behind the enemy, that's actually a really good point to get, because if you're tactical about it, if you coordinate correctly, if you come from different angles at the same time, you can actually surprise the enemy. So it seems that they are coming in. People are telling me to enlarge the minimap. Oh, it actually works. Okay, never mind. I tried it before. It wasn't working, but this is a different keyboard than I'm used to, and it's on a different key. Sorry, guys. Usually I have it's huge, but I couldn't actually make it work before. Okay, so now it's bigger. Cool. Bigger is better, right? Let's go for Velislav a little bit. Let's see what he's doing. So I think if this goes according to plan, this is going to be like this. These 2 guys start from different angles, and then the 5100 comes in and tries to attack the tank that they are shooting at. However, what they don't know is that Silver Joe is going to get focused down by 2 defenders if the Belgian guys get their way. They're coming out. They know that there is a defender. Ooh, he managed to avoid that shot and dish out 1 shot in return. They're going for it with the 5100 and the defender. It's more than enough damage to completely get him out of the game. And it seems that Bulgaria cannot really react to it. They're trying, but I think that defender is already too late. He absorbs a couple of shells, actually more than a couple, which is really cool. If he can manage to survive, this is still possible. And unfortunately, he died, which means that now they're operating with only 2 guns. And they have to attack. Now they have to try and get another tank out of the picture. The 5100 is running away. It's not a tank that they can actually attack. But this is a one-on-one for now. There is another tank coming. The 5100 is going to go for Motten. What they don't know though is that Slaughter is coming in from behind. Who is going to manage to dish out enough damage? Oh no, he absorbed another one. If he can't dish out, no, okay, he's dead. That defender is in a really bad position though. The 5100 is going to be soon reloaded. Let's look at this from the other team's perspective. So let's see what Belgium does. They're in a really good spot right now because they have a full health defender. They have a fully reloaded AMX 5100. and they have to defend. They don't actually have to do anything as long as the enemy team is just there. They are not attacking the point, and they are going for it because there's basically just one shot on the enemy team. I already did. Thank you. Okay, so there we go, and the 5100 goes down. That means that Belgium actually managed to come from behind after losing the first match. They managed to get one going and then made it count in the last tiebreaker and won the match. That means that the first finalist is going to be Belgium. Congratulations, guys. So let's just quickly look at the numbers, because it seems that Bulgaria was, well, they front-loaded most of the damage on the 5100. That's normal, I think. And then on the other team, again, this is very nice. I really like looking at these numbers, because if you look at the Belgian team, the way they distributed the damage is basically almost equal. And obviously it's always the 5100 which is supposed to come out as the highest damage dealer. But then again, the defenders did a really good job as well. So congratulations to Belgium. They are the first finalist. And they are going to be playing tomorrow against whoever is going to win in the match between Germany and Finland. Okay. To be honest, guys, I think this was basically a textbook example of this kind of setup. I really liked it. I haven't been casting these kind of tournaments in a long time, so it's a bit strange. And also, I've been doing this mostly in Hungarian initially. But the basic idea of whether it's a 5 versus 5, 7 versus 7, or 3 versus 3 is still the same, right? Focusing one enemy, getting those guns out of the question, pushing together and trying to coordinate your different flanks as you are coming in. This is still how you do, especially Himmelsdorf, for example. On certain maps, like open maps, for example, it's a bit different, obviously. The general idea is the same, but then the way you approach it is a bit different. But on city maps like Himmelsdorf, it's all about coordination and how you can manage to get behind the enemy from the other flank or from the other city block. Let's see if I can get some water for myself, because I've been shouting a lot. I hope that the sound levels are okay. So if the sound is not okay, just let me know. I'm going to take a look at the chat, because it seems that it's a bit frozen for me. Let's have a look. Maybe if I do this, I can actually have a continuous stream of chat going. Oops, and now I can hear myself, which is always nice. Okay. Sorry about this, guys. I'm trying to get you kinda in my face so I can see what you're talking about. It's working, kinda. Okay, let's see. I'm going to look a bit on the chat history that you guys were discussing here. It is an interesting one. Someone says, basically the idea is that how come that these are all Unicom players and they play so bad? I'm not sure. It's actually, I would say that it's not actually true, because here, especially in a 3v3, it all comes down to team tactics. Obviously, individual skill matters a lot, and you have to contribute a lot. You have to land your shots, you have to look for those weak spots, you have to coordinate completely with your team. However, it's much more about team play than about individual skill, in my opinion. So these players sometimes, maybe in a normal game, in a random game, they would go for a completely different decision, right? Maybe they would let that defender go ahead, soak up all the damage, not go in at all, wait until the enemy 5100 starts to reload, and then go for it and completely destroy it, get a lot of damage done. But here, the team captain is telling them what to do. If he says that we are going in, then we are going in, and no matter how much damage I'm going to take, I'm still going to carry out that order. So that's why we shouldn't really compare performance between random games and then competitive games like this one, right? because it's like comparing apples to oranges. It's just not doable. These guys are very good. I mean, if you looked at what they were doing, I think that most of them reacted really well. There were a couple of instances where I think the 5100s were not completely in line with what the team was doing, so a couple of instances where they were not fast enough in reacting. But other than that, I think the coordination, the tactics, all of that was very well rehearsed, and they did what they had to do. Let's see. Uh, okay. Some really funny comments, to be honest. There are a lot of questions about balance. Guys, if you're interested in balance or anything gameplay or game mechanic related, I suggest looking at the previous streams that we had. So if you go to our YouTube channel, look at the videos here on Facebook or on Twitch, you can watch the previous streams, or you can just wait for the next ones to come up, because we are still at Gamescom. We are going to supply you with a lot more stuff from within the game, Euro Cup stuff. So you know, like we have a lot of things going on at the same time. We're having Q&As with the developers. We had a really cool interview with Sabaton yesterday. We have the Euro Cup coming up. We have Border Warships, Total War Arena, obviously, if you are interested in those games. So if you're interested in anything that we are doing here at Gamescom, then just look at those channels. And if you're specifically interested in balance changes, then I suggest looking at the previous video, the one that I did with Paul and Danilo, because that had a lot of really interesting things about balance, how and why we are doing things. So I would look at that. There's a specific question about the 334-3 in the chat, and obviously I won't be able to answer you this question right now. I'm not one of the developers. I can't really go into details about this. However, if you're interested in what's going to happen with premium tanks, whether they're going to get buffed or not, I would suggest again looking at that stream, because Paul and Danilo were talking about these things, and it was really interesting. Let's try again if I can maybe bring up the feed from the stage. Nope. Okay. Maybe you guys can actually see just a little bit here over my shoulder, right? So, for now we are waiting for Germany and Finland, because you know these guys are playing on the gaming stations. They have to change the players. So Belgium and Bulgaria is going out, and Finland and Germany are replacing them. And once that's done, they're coming into this room, and we will see the setup, and then we have an idea of what they want to play. What I would probably suspect is that they're going to go with a similar setup, because these guys know what they need to use. They probably already played these games a lot against each other. They know what the other team is going to do, probably. Obviously, they can still try to surprise each other a little bit with some really strange setup, but that's not really what you do in a semi-final or a final, right? You're going with what you know it works. So I would think they are going to go, even if not with the same tanks, but something really similar. Mobility, firepower, and then a combination of armor and firepower mostly, I would say. Okay guys, so until it starts, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off my camera a bit, and then I'm going to just... Uh-huh. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the webcam just a little bit, and I'm going to let you look at the stage. I'm not sure how much you can actually see from it, but it might be interesting. That's actually not working. Let's do it like this. Okay guys, I'm back. Let's see if I can set this up a little bit better. There we go. So it seems that Finland is coming in. They're almost ready. Let's see what they say in the training room. I hope you guys managed to see something from the stage. I'm really sorry that you guys can't see the stage feed. And it seems that Germany is basically ready at this point. I'm pretty sure that Finland is not because they still have light tractors, whereas Germany had defenders all the way just a couple of seconds ago. So the map is going to be Ghost Town again. So we already know that the previous teams, the way they did it is the attackers went for point 1, right? And it makes a lot of sense because in point 2, if you think about it, you're kind of exposed, so it's always a risk. Because if you go into the middle of like the square, which is the middle point of the map, if the enemy comes from the north, from the west, from the east, from the south, you can't really know. Just a sec, guys. So by the way, guys, when I'm doing this, I'm mostly talking to Cernossi, who is doing the German stream for this, which is also shown on the stage. So if you guys are tuning in from Germany, go over to Cernossi's stream if you want, because he is doing this and he also has the stage feed for you. I hope that for the finals, we are also going to have the stage feed on the English stream. So it seems that Finland is being asked to ready up as well, although I'm pretty sure that they're still missing one guy, right? No? Am I missing something? I'm pretty sure that we are in need of a third player. So let's just go through the players as well so that we know who we are dealing with. So World 147 is the captain of the German team. And there is also Mackie07 and then Fleischi. Oh, sorry. So basically, this is the German team. And then the Finland team is Vertical Birds. And I'm going to butcher this one again. So it's Juho, probably. And then Count. Yeah, okay. So the Finnish guys are telling the Germans that they still need a third player. That kind of reminds me of the Finnish joke, which I'm not going to tell you guys, but it's really funny. Look it up. It's the two. Oh no, actually, it's the Finnish versus the Russian army. It's a really classic joke. It's really awesome, and I'm pretty sure that two Finnish guys can also take on the Germans. So. We are waiting for Count to come into the training room. And by the way, what you can hear in the background, what's going on the stage is, if you've ever been to Gamescom, you already know that there's a huge stage show going on most of the time on the stage. What they are doing is they're giving away a lot of really cool stuff. And there's always a lot of people cheering, jumping around, and just trying to get their hands on some keyboards, if I remember correctly, graphics cards, codes, obviously, t-shirts. So if you are interested in those and you can actually come to Gamescom, then there's still time since we are doing this until Saturday. So come, look at the booth. It's worth it. It's huge. It's awesome. Seriously, I've been to Gamescom before, and this is the biggest booth we have ever had. I don't want to give you a wrong number, but it's something like 1,400 square meters. And it's awesome. We have 40 computers for Total War Arena, 38 computers for World of Tanks, 24 for console, and from the top of my head, I think it's 28 for World of Warships. So that's a lot of game stations you can try. And for World of Warships, what we are doing is we are showing you the British battleships mostly. For console, you can try out the 4K version of the game, which is awesome. There is War Stories, which gives you the opportunity to experience World of Tanks from a completely different angle. Basically, you can play as the hero of a story. And then Total War Arena is the Alpha 10 version of the game, which means that you can try out a new faction, a new commander actually, not a new faction, which is Boudica, and a completely new unit, which is the War Dogs. And obviously you can also try the game, which is, because it's still in an alpha stage, it's already something that it's not that accessible, but here at Gamescom you can just try everything. And then for World of Tanks, what we are showing is two things mostly: Grand Battles, which is the new 30 versus 30 mode, and then we're also showing the HD maps. You can play 3 of them, and I'm not going to list them from the top of my head, but if you listen to the previous streams, then our community specialist Kaya went on about them a little bit, and he really, really loves them. He's really enthusiastic about them. And then what did I leave out? Did I leave out anything? I don't think so. So in general, if you have any possibility to come to Gamescom, you should. Okay, so it seems that there is some kind of TeamSpeak issue going on. That should be easily fixed. So we are waiting for one of the Finnish players, if I remember correctly, to come in. No, he is in, but he has to be also on TeamSpeak with the guys to communicate and discuss strategy. Okay, let's try to look at the chat. I'm going to try and refresh this Facebook chat for me and see what you guys are talking about. Oh, I already clicked on one of the streams, and it was one of the previous one. There are so many streams going on right now, right? It's basically hard to pick which one you want to see. It's like, which one is live? We have so many World of Tanks streams going on the Facebook page. So there's definitely a lot of content for you guys to enjoy. Okay, here we go. This is the one I won, but I don't want to hear it. I just want to look at the chat. Someone is asking whether these are the finals. No, these are not the finals. Currently we are doing the semi-finals. We already had the match between Bulgaria and Belgium, and the Belgian guys managed to come out ahead, and they are going to be the ones facing up against either Germany or Finland, which is the match coming up right now. Okay, so it seems that the guys are ready. The Finnish guys are setting everything to ready modes. They say good luck, have fun. And in 30 seconds, we are going to into the game. So let's see the setup a bit. So 3 defenders from Germany. Wow, these guys value armor a lot. And the other, defender, AMX 5100 and the Chrysler on the other hand, from the Finns. This is going to be interesting. This is not a mirror matchup at all. And the funny thing about it is that this time we don't actually have an autoloader from the German team, which makes it a bit more reliant on single shots. I suppose they are not doing the burst damage. They rely on their armor to soak up stuff and then dish out it for a longer period of time. So let's see. The Finnish guys, so Vertical Bird, Count and Juho, are the ones attacking, and the Germans are defending the bases. Fleischi actually, Mackie and the World 147 are the German team. Let's see what they do. So it seems that Finland is going into the middle, which is not really surprising, since this is the easiest position to defend both points from. And because they have 3 identical tanks, they have 3 defenders, they're probably going to move relatively close together in the beginning at least. And then they might come from a different flank with 2 tanks, and then another tank from behind, basically. The enemy team So Germany is doing basically the same. They are kind of mirroring each other. One of them is coming from the north, the other team is coming from the south, but they are all going for point 2, so they are going for the more difficult position, I would say. The thing is that because you don't have the TMX 50 100, this might be a more drawn out fight. Oh, this is a really nice setup there. They're basically protecting each other at the same time looking out from behind the building. They're very, very careful about it. Fleischi is leading the way for Germany. They're looking for the finish, guys. Peeking behind corners, trying to find them. It's funny because they kind of have the advantage, right? However, they're still looking for the enemy. They are being really proactive about it. It seems that they learned from the previous games. They suspect that the attacking team is going to come from that A0 position, kind of, going for point 1. They're trying to flank them, but that's not where they are, actually. These two teams managed to kind of rotate around the map and trying to find each other. They kind of circling each other. Okay, so Germany has point 1 covered at the moment, but it seems that the Finns, maybe they're going for point 2. They're just very cautious about it. I mean, they have time, right? They still have 4 minutes 50 seconds left. Okay, it seems that Germany decided, okay, we are done with running around the map. We are just going to defend point 1, and if you guys want to go for point 2, then we're just going to come for you. Whereas the Finnish guys, let's look at the Finnish guys. They're just happily driving around the map. They're trying to find the enemy. And it seems that they are moving together just as the Belgians and the Bulgarians did, with their true heavies, the Defender and the Chrysler, and then the MX is in the back, so that it's not the first tank that's getting focused when the shooting starts. And the shooting started just now. It seems that they spotted one of the defenders. None of the shots actually connected. So let's switch back to Germany. Let's see what these guys actually see. Ah, okay. So this defender, it's Fleischi. He is kind of behind some cover. I mean, there is this hill. So if he can hide the lower part of the... Ooh, that was the AG shot coming in, right? And it did a lot of damage from an AG shot, actually. So now Germany, it seems that they are not really satisfied with just looking at point 1. They're just going for it, but they didn't really expect this. There is this Chrysler, this cheeky Chrysler from the other side, and they are kind of getting into a bad position here. They are getting into the trap. It seems that Finland is coming from all sides at the moment. There is the Chrysler coming in. There is the 5100. And then, oh, let's go to Mackie a little bit, because he is having a one-on-one with another defender, and Count can't really help Vertical Bird, who is down to half his HP. Let's see what's going on. They are completely isolating Vertical Bird here. He's surviving just barely, but he's probably going to go down with the next shot. Right? Exactly. So that means that Finland lost one of their tanks, and Germany didn't really suffer for it. So now Duo is coming in. He's trying to go for World, but Mackie is trying to protect him. He's not very successful though. So it's down to 2 tanks each. The 5100 is going to run out of shells probably, and he's running away. But Mackie is down to 1 shot from... no, actually, maybe 2 shots. But that 5100 is not going to run very far. It's not going to get reloaded. That means that... Oh, this is a really tricky situation. There are 2 tanks still. If Fleischi goes down though, then Mackie is going to be against that Chrysler, which has a lot more hit points. They still have 2 guns in the game, but Fleischi is down to, well, 1.5 hits, right? So, oh god, this is very close. Oh, that was a huge mistake. She shouldn't have rammed the Chrysler. That means he basically gave up his gun. That was a really costly shot as well. So now they are both down to a sliver of health. Who is going to bounce the next shot? Who is going to connect? That's the question. 13 health left on Fleischi. Is he going to manage to get that next shot in? That's the question. And he did. He did. That was ridiculously close. And Count managed to get that last shot in. Okay, so that means that Finland is up 1 point over Germany in a really, really ridiculously close game. That was awesome. Let's see the team scores because that's going to be huge. That Chrysler did a lot of damage. Initially coming from the sides without anyone really noticing or caring because the Germans were just going for it. And then he just kept firing and he basically won this match. On the other hand, Mackie on the German team did a lot of damage as well, 2,420, but it was just not enough, barely basically. The difference between those two was the difference between the game. Oh my god, okay. That was awesome. That was a really cool game, guys. Okay, so let's look at the training because we should be in the next game relatively soon. Let's see if the Finns can keep this going because now they are the ones who have to get the next point, have to actually go for it, right? Because in the previous matchup, so the one with Bulgaria and Belgium, it was the Belgian guys who were down 1 point and then just came back completely, sweeping the whole series. Do you guys think that the Germans are going to manage to get 1 point? So in 15 seconds we should be in. Let's see if they manage to change anything. So the Germans are still relying on those three defenders. They say that the setup was correct. It was just the execution that was a bit lacking. The other team, though, they have the 5100 defender and the German VK. It's funny that the Finnish team is the one with the German tank, right? So let's look at what we are dealing with here. So the Finns, not only are they actually up 1 point, but they are also defending. So it's up to the Germans to break into the base and try to capture it. It's not going to be easy, but the Belgians managed to do it. So let's see if the Germans can. So last time what we saw was that these teams were kind of circling the map and each other. But in the end, they didn't really go for the points, right? They just went for an all-out brawl once they spotted each other. So what these guys are doing is they are probably killing the terrain so that they can see better, I guess. They are already preparing for a later part of the game, so the MX-5100 can just observe whether the enemy is coming. I guess they saw what the enemy did, so they circled around, so now they are waiting for them. It seems that Germany is moving together again. Let's go to Fleisch's view a little bit. They're waiting for each other. They are looking at the corners. They did this in the previous match as well, and they did it really well. And that was a really nice moment actually when they tried to protect each other. However, it didn't work out because the 5100 was just too fast, and that upfront damage, the huge clip, was enough to get one of the defenders out of the game. So again, the Germans are moving together as a team. They're going to try and focus something or someone out of the game. They're trying to make use of their armor. They're looking to the left. They don't know that the enemy is actually to the right. Let's see if they can get some shots in before Vertical Bird descends down the slope. And he actually lost a bit more than 400 HP for that. Just one shot. That's not something that can decide the match per se, but actually it's a lot. That one shot we've seen that in the previous match. That it can really mean a lot to these teams because they are so good that one shot can mean basically victory or defeat. And these guys, the Germans, are with a really good position, but Mackie got shot into the right side of the track, I suppose. It's lucky that he didn't get tracked there. The reason why this is a relatively good position for them is that they are kind of in a... oh, someone is showing me something. Sorry, guys. Um, okay, so they exchanged a couple of shots, but they didn't really go for it. They didn't decide to, okay, let's go in and then decide this. They're pretty careful about it, which is obvious since, well, they had down 1 point, right? This is all or nothing. If they manage to win this, there is still the tiebreaker. If they lose, and I mean the Germans, then they are out. Then Finland is going against Belgium in the finals, but that's not final yet, so let's just wait what the Germans are doing. They are circling around. They're still moving very well together. They're still covering each other, and if you actually look at the hit points, I think the Germans lost them on the same, a bit more actually than the Finns, but the thing is that it's spread out more, which can count a lot. As long as you can keep those guns in the game, it's fine. But Vertical Bro, what he doesn't know is that these 3 defenders are coming in. He managed to bounce a lot of shots actually, but he has support. He has a lot of support, and the Germans are going for it. If they can get Vertical Bird out, they can't apparently. Whoa, very nice the way they protect each other. But Flash is taking a lot of damage for that. And another shot is coming in. Flash, if he's going down, he's going out with a fight, obviously. But he has to be in the game for the Germans to win this. And Mackie, that was a crucial mistake. Actually, Mackie wanted to go in front and take that shot. But they connected and he couldn't get in front of him. So they lost the tank because of that small mistake, I think. And that 5100 is probably reloading, I would say. And the VK still has a lot of hit points. That's 1,700 hit points that the Germans have to go through. And they're slowly going through it. But I'm not sure they will be able to. Oh, Word just came in for the shot and he received one. But that's probably not what he was looking for. Maggie's trying to run away, but I guess this is a lost cause basically because he's the only one left against 2 tanks. Oh my god, he's set on fire as well. You know, when it rains it pours, right? He's still 367 HP left, but I'm pretty sure that once Mackie manages to get killed by the Finns, it's gonna be over, right? There's no way. I mean, if they manage to get a couple of shots off of him, and the 5100 is behind him, so I would say yes, exactly. This is over. Finland actually managed to 2-0 Germany in the semifinals, which means that Finland is going up against Belgium in the finals tomorrow. Congratulations, guys. I mean, especially the first game was really close. I liked it a lot. This one was much more straightforward, I would say. The Germans were just countered. And I'm not sure about this 3-defender configuration because I think what the Finns did was much more versatile and they played it really well. So they deserve their place in the finals. Okay, guys. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you liked it. I hope you are going to tune in tomorrow as well for the finals. I hope that we are going to have the stage feed for you to entertain you a little bit between the matches as well. And stay tuned. We are going to have a lot more streams for you in the future. Bye-bye.